I was trying to read you to say hi.
Shoot, I'm on it. Just because it looks like I'm not paying attention.
Hello.
I got attention on layaway.
Okay.
I don't have to just pay it. It's right there waiting for me.
I love it.
I do it.
But you're looking down. That
Every
tells me
time.
you're cheating.
How can I cheat? Because I'm looking down.
I'm gonna tag. Listen, today, you guys, it's gonna be a little shorter than usual, right? I mean, we're not gonna blame anybody, but if we
I'm blaming you.
Why are you blaming me?
Because you're my wife, you're my person, you're who I blame.
I blame you.
Why would you blame me?
Just because I know it's your fault. It actually is, but you have a really good reason.
Are y'all hearing this?
It really is his fault.
Hold on. Let's take a journey down this.
You were supposed to be here at 4:30.
No. That's been settled since 2:30 that I wasn't going to be here at 4:30. I want to just take it. Let's meander down this course of self-justification and find out exactly how you arrived at this conclusion that it's my fault.
You're supposed to be here at 4:30. So if you would have been
We knew
on
at
time,
2:30 I wouldn't be here
you
at 4:30.
would have preached shorter than I did, and we would have started on time. So that's a why. But
That was a blame sandwich. She blamed me, took a little bit of responsibility, then blamed me again.
Well, welcome to marriage.
All you got to do is, before you start preaching, look at the clock.
Listen, honestly,
And then a little bit through
I
preaching,
actually do
look at the
pretty
clock
good.
again.
I do pretty good. And Daniel's the best at giving me a timer and has me all set up. But today,
Now Daniel got shotgunned in there. Catching strays. Daniel didn't have a timer.
No, I said Daniel does, but give me a
Yeah, but
timer.
did he have one today?
Yeah.
You just ignored it.
No, I didn't ignore it.
That's
I was saying. I didn't ignore it.
I was over there thinking you were going blind. I didn't think you knew.
Yes, no, Daniel.
So there was a timer telling you everything.
Yes.
The screen timed out, didn't it?
I was just, no. It was.
You just said, whatever, bro.
I was ministering the word, what God would put on my heart, and I was.
Stop mocking me.
A part of it was just trying to get it out and flesh it out. It was something that I put together that I hadn't fleshed out entirely. So now that I have, I'll be able to unpack it another time.
You're done flushing?
Yes, done fleshing.
Fleshing.
That's what I said.
Oh, you did? I heard flushing.
Yeah, that's
I was
what
like, I was just fleshing it out. I'm done flushing now.
Fleshing it
It's all gone.
out. Oh my
I got a
God.
question for people watching us right now, if there's anyone there for all four of you. I have a question. In your home, if there's more than one person, who is the one that is responsible for making you late?
What?
I want to know who's the person that is the cause of tardiness
Not me.
in homes out there. I'm just curious. I'm not going to talk about our house.
Okay.
What happens in our house, what happens at our address,
Stays at our address.
stays at our address.
Okay, I like that.
But I'm just curious.
That is not true.
What?
That is not true.
What's not true? What are you talking
I'm
about?
out of the house fast. Like this morning.
What are we talking about?
I was ready to go and you were still outside pulling weeds.
I was outside pulling weeds because you were not ready to go.
I was ready
I wasn't
to go.
pulling weeds because I was like, I got to do this before I leave.
So Galena said the same thing. She's like, well, I'm ready. I said, being ready to go versus being done with something is different. You were working on something.
I started because I was waiting. Did you know I'd already left the house and come back?
No.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But I wasn't even talking about you. You thought I was pointing at you?
Yes, you did. I saw you with my peripheral.
I did
you
like
went
this.
Like that.
It was in between both of us.
Okay.
Look.
Yeah.
If you draw a straight line, it's pointing behind you.
Who in your house makes you late? We're gonna start fights.
Let's find out.
That's what we're gonna start. This is
I wanna know.
This is Let's Talk. Welcome to Let's Talk Right Now.
Text us your answer.
Where you get to talk about
in your house
all the things you want.
Raymond Martinez, how you doing, man? That's one of my tags that I successfully recruited right there.
Where are my people at?
5 tags turned in, and they're here already.
Feeling loved
Here
right
we
now.
go. Man, and then you get all tag happy. How many people how do you tag so many people so fast?
I don't know.
When I watch our Sunday stuff, I'm like, golly.
I'm just.
That's interesting to me. I just share it with everybody.
Well.
I just want to know, who makes you late? I'm curious.
Who makes you late?
Put their name and tag them. Why not?
That's not nice.
Why?
It's just not.
I got a question for you. I need you to help pastor me through something.
help pastor you through something?
I
Here we
do.
go. Let's talk. Our first question from you.
I need you to help me.
Okay.
If I have, in the past, had an offense with somebody,
Okay. If you had an, okay.
and I've forgiven them,
Okay.
and I see them again,
Okay.
am I required to speak to them?
You're not required to do anything.
Should I?
If you make eye contact, or if you're in a position where you're passing them by or something, I think it's just being kind or cordial.
If I see them make eye contact and don't want to speak to them, does it mean I haven't forgiven them?
No, it doesn't mean that. But it could send the wrong. It could just give the wrong perception. So if you care about the perception, then I think at that point, because
Okay, then I'm good.
What?
Once you said that, you don't care about the. No, I don't. I
You
don't.
don't care about the perception. I guess it just depends, and I think to the motive, like what's the motive, and ultimately God knows that too. Like if you're intentionally trying to ignore somebody because you just don't want to talk to them, then there's a motive there. If you maybe didn't see them or you couldn't say anything.
Rudy, I wasn't talking about you. He says, yes, you speak to me all the time. I've never been offended with you. We're talking about you. No, but like, I want to tell on myself about something. I just want to be real and be vulnerable.
Okay.
Before, it's always been my practice that if me and someone else have a problem with each other and we have a conversation and maybe we don't get to talk about what happened ever again, but in me, I've made a resolution. I forgive them. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just whatever. Like, there's not a lot of things. I always tell people, I use it as a joke, but I am too tired. I usually use the word lazy to hold a grudge.
Right.
It's like one of the reasons, like, I'm not jealous. Like, I'm too lazy for that. Like, you have to go through a lot of things to be jealous. Because then if I'm jealous enough or hold on to a grudge, I got to act on that. Like, that's just how I feel. And I'm just too tired to remember.
Like the hog tie story?
Yeah, I'm just too tired. I'm tired. I'm too tired to remember who I'm mad at. So, like, I just let it go, you know? Got too many things on my mind. Just let it go. But then when I would see these people or a person, I would make it a point to speak to them.
Yeah.
And like, hey, how you doing? And talk to them. But I realized, like, I had a conversation with the Lord about this thing that, in a sense, I was bullying them. Because this person may not be there yet, and they need to have that space, and I don't have to prove it by speaking to them.
Right.
Like, I'm not offended with them, but they might be offended with me, and if they're offended with me, it's their responsibility to bring it up to me. But it's not my responsibility to go fishing for it.
But were you? Was that your motive?
No, like, I think a part of me felt like I needed to speak to them.
So that what?
To show that.
You were okay with them?
Yeah, like.
I don't think that's bullying.
No,
though.
I'm telling you what the Lord said to me.
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, no, I'm sorry. That one I'm not like.
Okay.
That one that has no feedback.
Okay.
Like that, in a sense, it wasn't from a place of humility.
Okay.
It was from a place of arrogance. Wow. And so then I was like, well, then what do I do? And the Lord literally said, does it feel natural for you not to speak to them? And I said, well, no, that doesn't feel natural.
Okay.
He said, then that's what I'm asking you to do.
To not speak?
Like, I don't have to feel forced to speak.
Ah.
Because the reality is the relationship has changed. So the greeting isn't the same. The relationship has changed. It doesn't mean my heart has changed.
Okay.
Just the nature of the relationship is different. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, think about somebody you used to date back in the day. You don't think about them. You don't get to think about them. But those of you out there that dated people in the past, you might, when you saw them, you'd give them a hug and a kiss, right? That's that. But then the relationship changed.
You don't see them.
You see them again, and let's say you move on and you get married, you better not see the person you used to date and give them a hug and a kiss. That relationship is different, so the greeting is different.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think sometimes we don't I'm still processing this part out with the Lord, but I just wanted to do it out loud because I think sometimes people don't think pastors go through that and they feel we just have to smile and say hi to everybody.
That's true.
And so I just want to serve notice on the world. I don't have to. And so and not in a mean way. I'm not looking for reasons not to speak. I don't have to shake hands. I don't have to give hugs. Because people need the ability for God to grow them through a process. And I'm not saying the right to process. No, God's growth process for your life has its own pace.
Okay.
And people need to be given that. And I thought, man, I may have.
So you feel like, or felt like the Lord said because you were going to them, that somehow you were imposing something on them? Because I guess I feel a little confused by it.
Yes.
Like a sip of
I
that,
was
may I?
imposing. Well, we're post-COVID now. So
Okay.
yeah, you can. But like in the way the Lord broke it down to me is in those scenarios, I knew that these people had these certain people had a problem with me. They had an axe to grind, and I would see them,
Got
and
you.
in a good attitude, like in the moment, I didn't know I was doing
How
it.
did you know that if they still had something against you?
Satan always makes sure there's a messenger to give you bad news.
Oh,
Like I'm a firm, but
like you already know.
You know what I mean? And so, and you know me, like I'm usually ignorant to dirty looks, and I'm
Well, see,
usually
I
like
could maybe if
oblivious.
somebody didn't like me, but if I saw them, I'm not gonna act like I didn't see them, because to me that gives like.
It's not necessarily acting like you don't see them. I'm not saying like I'm saying go over and like you know the Christian
Right.
yeah, hey and
Yeah.
the side hugs,
But it's
and
all fake.
But it's not real because
Right.
when you really walk away, what sometimes you really want to know is, did you see how they looked at me? Did they talk to me? They didn't act the way they usually do. You see, and so I think it's okay like to smile and wave like the penguins on Madagascar. Smile and wave, boys.
And because at the end of the day, it's not your responsibility how they interpret that.
Yeah.
If your motive is right, if you really have forgiven them and it's pure.
And I think sometimes, and you just said it, sometimes we're so worried about the perception that we force a disingenuous move.
Oh, see, and that's not me. So I guess automatically I'm not gonna. If I'm genuinely saying hi to somebody, it's because it's genuine, and I think that's why I reference motive.
So then
Like,
if you
what's my motive?
genuinely don't say hi to somebody, that's
On
genuine
purpose?
too. You can be genuine both ways.
Well, no, but like if it's in my nature to greet and say hello, because that's just how I am.
See, and it's not in mine.
Okay, so yeah,
So that's cool.
that is cool.
I like it. See how we're different but
Yeah.
the same?
I love it.
But not separate but equal?
He says, but if you don't know that, and if you approach them genuinely, I think it could help in some cases.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you don't know, I'm not talking about in every case where I spoke to someone that had an offense. I'm talking about in the ones where I knew.
Where you knew, like
Yes.
you knew that person was
I knew.
still salty.
I knew they had something
or-
like, and so this just has just
that
happened
makes
in the
sense.
last couple
That
of months
makes
that I've really
sense.
arrived at a different place.
Wow, Pastor Jay, so
Yeah.
mature of you.
Oh,
So
well, don't start throwing those words
godly,
around.
so godly of
Yeah,
you.
let's not use those words so flippantly. But that's a
Okay.
great point. That's a great point. I think sometimes we get so more caught up in acting Christian
Come on.
instead of being
Let's go.
sanctified.
That's what I'm saying.
And instead of being like, and when I say
But-
sanctified, I mean progressively
Yes.
being sanctified
Well,
into the pattern of Jesus.
I'll tell him myself, like I was saying that
We got a whole snitching session going on
on
over there.
ourselves. That like even in my time with the Lord, recently of just for whatever reason, just my mind being consumed with some things that I'm like, I couldn't, which is crazy because I mean, when I'm in the presence of the Lord, I'm with him. Like I'm imagining him. I see him sitting there with me. I'm like, I have these really phenomenal Jesus times that I can't share, I guess, because they're intimate times with me and the Lord. And I don't think I'm supposed to do that. But like here I find this one day that I find myself not like enthralled in his presence, like like I wake up with you, like, hey honey, I'm ready to tell him all the things on my mind and my heart, like I do with you. you know what I'm talking about, like those mornings that
Yes,
I wake
I know
up
exactly
and I'm
what
like
you're talking about.
rolling all over you,
I'm just
kissing your
not trying to-
face, all happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, Sky's awake, I'm awake, let's go play. But then there are other mornings that I'm ready to like tell you the to-do list and what's all happening, and because I've got so much in my mind, and because I've been awake 2 more hours than you have or something,
FYI, both of those days feel the same to me.
Wow. Smothering is what you're
I
trying
love
to say.
you,
Yeah, I'm smothering you.
But I know.
Kisses or talks.
But
yeah.
finish your point, so I don't.
Well, anyways, that's how I felt with Jesus, and so I'm just like, Lord, and I couldn't for the life of me think of something I could be grateful for.
Really?
Because all I could think about is the thing that I was just either worried about
Fixated
or fixated on. Probably that's a better word, fixated on. That so in that moment, I then just begin to tell the Lord, okay, like I know this is where I am with you right here, and it has nothing to do with you, it has everything to do with me. I just can't get past the thing I'm fixated on this morning. So, but will you change my heart on this? Like, would you please like remind me? And then as soon as, because what I teach about prayer is the word adoration. When I pray, I adore. And so I begin to compliment God, and I couldn't think of a compliment. I was like, and that made me so angry at myself in that moment, because there's a million things I can adore him for, but that thing was overtaking. So what I'm trying to say essentially is that, like, well, one, I'm snitching on myself about my quiet time with Jesus, but just that in those moments we have to be able to just acknowledge where we are, let God speak to us, and then he makes a miracle out of a mess in that moment.
I think that's so helpful that you shared that just now.
Really?
Like, yeah. I mean, because I think a lot of us, when we go into prayer, a part of what discourages people from prayer is that there's like this rehearsal element.
That's what I'm talking about, like the fakeness of it.
Yeah, there's a rehearsal element to it that you gotta know. Like, God doesn't know what really is on your mind.
What you're thinking about.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna say it cautiously because I'm not gonna put them on blast. I love the way my dad prays.
Okay.
Like, my dad prays real prayers, okay? Like,
real prayers.
Real prayers.
Like, straight up.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, so I'm like in between because
he like comes straight out of the book of suffocation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my dad prays some real prayers. And he's always told me, he said, I was like, one time I heard my dad praying and I was like, Dad, are you sure that like those prayers are reaching heaven? And he said, Javier, God knew what I was in my heart before I ever started opening my mouth. Why would I read him a fake list?
Ooh, dang.
Like, I want him to know
That's good.
that what he sees in my heart is what I see too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so
I just got a revelation.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Ooh, shut your mouth, girl.
Revelation.
Wow.
Quick, give it fast.
Because realize that
that's the goat.
The realest prayers are the ones that are the truest prayers.
Yeah.
Even we don't come to God with the prayer that sounds like it's already figured it out.
Let me tell you something.
We come to God with the question.
Let me tell you.
The real question.
Yes. This is what I tell people all the time.
But you didn't let me finish my thought.
Oh, shoot. Well, come on.
I'm almost done.
Come on. Remember this?
Watch.
Oh, gosh. Sorry.
You're going to put me to rest already?
Yes. Come on.
No,
Hurry.
watch. Check it out. Check it out. If you and God are not seeing the same thing, you'll never understand what he's revealing to you.
Okay.
Because just think about it. If I'm trying to reveal something to you that's over here on the left, and you're fixated, you're looking in that direction, but your eyes are shifted to the right, you're never gonna see what I'm trying to show you because you're looking at something else. Like, you have to be looking, like, tell God, I see that's jacked up, it's my fault, it's on me.
Yeah.
And so, because then God can give you clear direction because you're both looking at the same thing.
That's why I'm always saying about telling, like, when you're with Jesus, okay, two things real quick. You do it kicking, screaming, yelling, shouting, cussing. Okay, yes, I said cussing. Like, don't be cussing at Jesus. But there are times where in your raw, whatever it takes, just keep talking to him. Like, he's not afraid of that. And I understand, listen, I'm not saying, I understand about reverence. We are in holy ground. He's still God. We don't treat him like he's just any average Joe. But God also knows where we are individually, and individually can handle us where we are individually. It's no different with your kids. You may have one kid that his personality is different based off his life circumstances and his way. It's no different than somebody who comes to me who's maybe off the streets. Like, here later in the little bit, we're going to go to a recovery home. And you teach and minister to guys. I teach and minister to girls. And in the recovery home, the girls, as I'm preaching the Bible, they may say cuss words and be tweaking out. Like, I'm not going to sit there and judge them and make them feel like they have to be confined to this box, because God is working on them and he's doing something in them. And that's where grace and mercy and compassion. So that's when you go into the relationship with your Father, that he loves you like a daddy who loves you already for you. And he's not counting score of how well you set up and the words that you said. Like, you will get there because you're willing to be vulnerable with where you're not, but where you are. I'm not there yet, God. I do still cuss. I do still drink. I am still smoking. I do lie. I am a mess. I don't know how to figure this out. I'm not trusting you. I don't believe right now. I am doubting. I am afraid. Like, kicking, screaming, yelling, cussing. That's kind of what I mean. And maybe not in the literal sense, but in the sense of keep getting into his presence. And that's what I did. So today, I'm out of 100 and I don't know how many days now, straight in a row, right? One day that I get up, that I know, I'm up. I know I want to be with him. That I know for sure. But when I get into my chapel, And I sit there, I'm like, I cannot think about anything else but that thing that's on my mind. And I'm frustrated because I'm like, Lord, I don't want to come in this room. You're sitting in front of me and I'm thinking about this other thing other than you. So I just said, like, then, change me. Like, help me see what I don't see. And before I knew it, like, I'm weeping before the Lord. I'm talking to God. It turned out to be one of the most beautiful conversations I've had with him because he's so good that when we're willing to be raw and authentic with where we really are, then he meets us right there. So it makes me want to cry now because he's so sweet. Like, he doesn't reject me because of my humanity. He invokes it so that I can be real, so that he can sit with me, so that he doesn't leave me the same, so he can minister to the hurt, or he can minister to the sin, or he can minister to the fear, or he can minister to that human discrepancy in my life. If I'm willing to be vulnerable enough to say, okay, it's right here. You already can see it anyways. Like, I'm trying to hide it. Here it is. Let's deal with this so that we can move on to the other things, to the real things that you want to talk about.
I think the one thing I'm learning with the Lord, yeah, it's about time to go.
Okay.
I think the one thing I'm learning with the Lord right now in this season of my life is that genuineness with God is so important, because God isn't about teaching us how to act.
Yeah.
It's about him imparting his nature. And impart means to pour out.
Yes.
And if God is going to pour his nature out into us, anything that, it's like this generation says, anything that's fake, that's cap. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cap. So if God is trying to pour into me his nature, but I'm capped off, then it can be around me. It'll flow around me, but it'll never fill me from within. Because if God fills us with his nature, one day the response of his nature will be your first response. But if it's cap, if you're going to God with cap, like with an act, with these proper behavior modifications that you swear, Lord, like going into prayer, God, I don't know what to do this situation, but I know you're going to. No, you don't. You don't know what God is going to do. You know God is faithful. You know God is at work. You know he's there. But if it's a miracle, you can't figure it out. Like, if it's really a miracle you need, then you don't know how God is going to do it. That's what makes it a miracle. If you knew how he was going to do it, you can make it happen. God is going to do something brand new. That's what he does. But it's not until you're comfortable in the question that God will then start pouring out the answer. You've got to get comfortable in the question, not, oh, I'll be comfortable once the answer comes. No, be comfortable in the question. Like, his presence has to be enough for you.
Well, that's what I said to him. That's literally, like, I'm telling on myself.
I was listening outside the door.
My prayer was, Lord, why isn't right now your presence enough for me? And I was aware of that.
That's a real prayer, babe.
And I had to tell him that.
That's gangster.
Okay, I was like, Lord,
where you at?
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was.
Why am I tripping?
Yes. Why am I tripping? Like, what's? Yeah.
You so cute when you say it like that. Why am I tripping? I love it. Find you a lady, man. That's a lady right there.
I mean, that really was, and I said, Lord,
that's such a
why isn't what you being with me right now? Why isn't it enough? So because I can recognize that, then I begin to quote a scripture that I have memorized intentionally, because I've been in this deep study of the prophets of Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and I've memorized Ezekiel 36, verses 26 through 28. And the Lord says, I will give you a new heart, and I will put a new spirit in you. I will remove your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. I will pour my spirit within you and cause you to observe, to carefully observe my statutes and to follow me. And he says, I will give you the land I gave your ancestors. I will be your God and you will be my people. And it is literally the cry of my heart. That's why I can't stop talking about repentance. It's why I can't stop, encouraging people to spend time with the Father, because the reality is we really are messed up.
Yeah.
Like, we walk every day in some sort of position of pride. We walk in some sort of position of denial. We walk in areas of sin. we walk in areas of unknown sin. Do you know that there are some things that you're probably sinning that you don't even know that you're sinning in? But we don't even take the time to ask God to search me and find anything in me that isn't pleasing to you. Like, I'm so desperate for God.
And I think it's
like,
because our definition of sin is caught up in behavior.
Like,
when sin is not behaviors, it's a condition.
Okay.
The condition of sin is separation from God.
Yeah.
Separation from God means the way I connect to God is by depositing trust in him. And obedience is the way trust is expensed in the kingdom.
You realize too, though, that the further you get into his presence, the cleaner and holier he is, and the farther, like the awareness of here's this immaculate, perfect
If
God.
Facebook steals on that image right now, whenever we go offline, that thumbnail is going to be classic. Well, you went with the whole.
I'm just saying, like,
come on, Facebook,
Don't do it. That'd be awful. So,
if they do it, we know they're listening.
Turn it off.
If it happens, we know they're listening.
Delete this episode if that happens. What I'm saying is that, like, man, just I don't know, more and more. Even today,
No, the closer you get to God,
yes, you just realize
the
how
holier
He is.
the
less you are.
The more. That's why grace is you're hungering for the grace. But that's my point.
That's why. Hold on, I gotta cut you off just for a second because.
What about all the other times?
Hold on, I do. Sorry.
Okay.
because that's why you can't not forgive somebody. Listen, you got a little bit of unforgiveness in your heart. You're being a little stubborn about letting something go, a little situation that's happened in your life, because he is so faithful in forgiving all the shenanigans, all the crap that I
Why'd you whisper it? What?
I don't know if I can say that or not. That was appropriate or not.
When we were dating the first time you said shenanigans, I thought you were about to cuss and my ears perked up.
Oh my God.
I was like, she finna say that.
like it causes me even today. Like even today, just thinking like, who am I not to? So even the things that I might be upset with, or the things that I have a right to be upset with, or the people that have hurt me or have offended me or haven't apologized or will never give me an apology or never acknowledge or will still, like you said, have some sort of feeling towards me when I've been working through forgiveness and loving them in my quiet time. Literally, I make a list of people that I lay hands on and I'm praying for that have not been good to me and not been kind to me. And you know what I'm saying? And like, God's requiring that of me. Because I feel like the more and more I'm with him, the more and more of my nakedness, of my humanity, and like this earthen body that messes up all the time. Like, I literally was imagining my mind. I was thinking of the word kindness, and it like being, and this is gonna sound weird, so whatever, but like kindness is on my forehead and like it's drawing me. Like, I needed kindness today.
It was pulling on
me. Like, I needed.
That's a yoke.
I needed kindness. Yes, babe. Like, that's gonna make me cry.
Don't, because we don't have time.
No, because that's literally like what I imagine.
Not because I'm cutting my wife off, by the way. Just we have another engagement.
I mean, just this feeling of like, you lead me, God. Like, whatever. I just need kindness to be so eminent, so that it looks like you. That's what people.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. Yeah. Okay. I know we got to go. So good.
Sometimes in prayer, you got to take on the old Hall & Oates spirit.
What's that?
I can't go for that. No. Sometimes that's how I talk to the Lord. It'll be old songs, movies,
songs,
like all kinds of stuff.
80s music.
Like I
too.
just take on these attitudes. Like I'm not gonna mess with that. Like, sometimes it's gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like I still got some roots that the Lord is weeding. But in all seriousness, thank you guys for being with us today. It's been an awesome time. I'm going to ask you guys to do us a favor. We also have we have our YouTube channel, RightNow Church TV. I'd love for you guys to do us a favor and like and subscribe the YouTube channel as well. We just want to be able to provide this to as many people as possible. Yeah. And we really believe that God has given us an opportunity and a platform to be able to do that. He's surrounded us with the resources to get it done. And if God gives you resources, you steward those resources, you use them and multiply them, and the Lord is pleased by that.
Shout out
it doesn't make any sense. Tell them who we shout out to.
To Dork Productions, our corporate sponsors. We love you. We love
Dork. Get a Dork.
Get a Dork for all.
If you need a memorable moment,
media,
get you a Dork.
Videography needs the best of the best.
Yes.
The best of
We're
the
going to
best.
make a shirt that says "Got a Dork."
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, we got to do
Okay.
that. We love you.
We love you.
We're gonna see you again next week.
Yes.
Different bat time, but same bat channel. We love all of you.
Earlier bat time.
Yeah,
right?
earlier bat time. But thank you all so much for being with us today. It really, really is humbling and exciting to see you there. Thank you for your feedback and all of your responses. We want to make sure that you know that we see that, we love it, and we're here for it.
Yes.
So we'll see you again next week. We love you, babe. Tell them what they got to do till then.
Go be the church. Love you guys.